The time has come. The final chapter of Birth by Sleep. Unlike my previous two videos, there's nothing to break down before we get started. We're jumping straight in. This is Kingdom Hearts Remake, Part 5, The Story of Aqua. Our story opens just moments after the Mark of Mastery exam. As we learned prior, Aqua was the only one to pass. While Terra and Vin walk back to their rooms, Aqua begins the ceremonial process of becoming a Keyblade Master. Master Ericus hands Aqua a book. This book is a copy of an original document that contains information reserved only for Masters. Things like how to forge a Keyblade, the locking technique that turns the Land of Departure into Castle Oblivion, and several light-based Keyblade techniques, such as binding chains. There's also a section that outlines how to use summons, an ability that wasn't seen in the original Birth by Sleep. Master Ericus tells Aqua that it'll take years for her to master everything in the book, and that today is really only the first step towards truly becoming a Keyblade Master. The two of them speak for a bit longer before their conversation is cut short by a call from Yin Sid. This brings us into the opening hours of the story. As Vin and Terra head to the courtyard, Master Ericus pulls Aqua aside. Master Ericus expresses his concern about the darkness that Terra displayed during the exam. Ericus asks Aqua to keep a close eye on Terra. In the event that Terra shows signs of succumbing to the darkness, Master Ericus wants Aqua to bring him home immediately. This makes Aqua feel uneasy, as she doesn't want to spy on her friend. Despite this, Aqua decides to put her faith in Master Ericus and accepts the responsibility. As we know from our previous two entries, our trio is separated just moments after beginning their journey, and Aqua lands in the Castle of Dreams. Aqua's journey through this world, as well as the following two, will play out just like the original game. The only difference being she won't cross paths with Vin during her time in Enchanted Dominion. So we'll be skipping straight ahead to Radiant Garden. Because there's no Kairi in this story, when Aqua arrives at the castle gates, she'll instead meet Alias and Dylan. She ends up fighting alongside them to push back a wave of Unversed that are attacking the castle. Fighting in a group of three naturally causes Aqua to think about Terra and Vin. During this flashback, we learn that much like Vin, at times, Aqua also feels disconnected from her friends, but for a very different reason. It's no secret that out of the three, Aqua is the most skilled, but she suffers from a bit of imposter syndrome. Whether it was Keyblades, magic, or studying, everything came naturally to her. Despite putting in just as many hours, she feels like she hasn't worked as hard as her friends. Because of this, Aqua fears she doesn't deserve the title of Master. Unfortunately, before she can process how she's feeling, a giant Unversed flies overhead. From here, Aqua's story continues down the same path as the original. After separating from Vin and Terra again, Aqua has her first encounter with Vanitas. She manages to win the exchange and knock Vanitas to the ground. As Aqua slowly approaches him, Vanitas launches a surprise attack. Similar to what we saw in Vin's story, Vanitas tries to forcibly merge his heart with Aqua. This is where we get our first glimpse of anti-Aqua. Fortunately, the fusion doesn't stick and only lasts a few moments, after which Vanitas makes his escape and calls Aqua his backup. Aqua quickly leaves Radiant Garden, hoping to pursue Vanitas. This leads her to Disney Town. Just like Terra and Vin, she'll participate in the Dream Festival as well, and eventually go on to win the Million Dreams Award. However, unlike her friends, Aqua's keen sense for magic clues her in that something is wrong with Disney Town. Unfortunately, she quickly realizes that whatever magic is in effect is far beyond her current capabilities. Although this situation is by no means her fault and beyond her control, Aqua sees this as a shortcoming, and once again questions her title as a master. So, despite wanting to help, Aqua acknowledges that she'll have to come back at a later time. From here, the next 3 worlds in Aqua's story play out just like the original game. When Aqua reaches the end of Neverland, she has her second encounter with Vanitas. Vanitas tells Aqua, now that he's had his trial run with her, taking control of Vin is going to be far easier. Aqua knows that Vanitas is a real threat, and her best option is to stop him here and now. Although Aqua comes out the winner, she's so exhausted that she collapses on the ground. When she eventually comes to, she realizes Vanitas is nowhere to be found. Although she has no idea where he's gone, Aqua knows she has to hurry if she wants to protect Vin. Fortunately, just as she's leaving Neverland, her Wayfinder begins to glow. This leads us into the reunion with Terra and Vin, as well as the death of Ericus that I outlined in my prior videos. Our story will pick back up partway through the final battle with Master Xehanort. As Aqua tries her best to help Vin, she comes face to face with Braig. Although Aqua is successful in fighting him off, she makes the mistake of letting her guard down. During this small opening, Vanitas lands a devastating surprise attack. When Aqua regains consciousness, the only thing she sees in front of her is Vin. Once Aqua comes into range, Vin attacks. Keep in mind that there's no Keyblade in this story, so Vin will fight using Vanitas' Void Gear. Aqua recognizes that her friend is being controlled. She believes that if she can win the fight on the outside, she can help Vin win the fight on the inside. However, the fusion of Vin and Vanitas overwhelms Aqua. Aqua becomes desperate, and although she's had limited time to practice, she attempts to use one of the techniques outlined in the book that Master Ericus gave her. This technique is only meant to be used as an absolute last resort. Gripping her Wayfinder as hard as she can, Aqua calls forth the hidden trump card of the Keyblade Masters, Bahamut. As I mentioned in my last video, the power of light is the foundation for summons. Bahamut's Mega Flare levels most of the battlefield, knocking away both Aqua and Vin. When Aqua wakes up again, she finds herself in the care of Yin Sid. The summoning of Bahamut released so much energy that even Yin Sid was aware of its presence. He quickly teleported to the Keyblade graveyard, where he found both Vin and Aqua lying unconscious. Aqua begins to question if she made the right choice, but Yin Sid reassures her that if not for her actions, both she and Vin likely would have been lost. However, Terra's whereabouts are still unknown. Recognizing that she's the only one still capable of fighting, Aqua begins planning her counterattack against Xehanort. She starts by taking Vin back to the land of departure. After arriving, she begins part 1 of her plan. Aqua recognizes that she's now the last line of defense, and in the event that she should fail, there needs to be more Keyblade wielders. Following the book that Master Ericus gave her, Aqua spends the next few days crafting Keyblades. But because Xehanort destroyed so much of their home, she only has enough resources to make 3. The Kingdom Key, Way to Dawn, and Star Seeker. However, after the forging process is complete, the 3 Keyblades show no signs of life. But instead of dwelling on it, Aqua puts her faith in the process and hopes that with time, the Keyblades will awaken and go out to seek their partners. Aqua then begins step 2 of her plan and transforms the land of departure into Castle Oblivion. Aqua decides to leave Vin inside of the Chamber of Waking, believing he'll not only be safe there, but also out of reach of Vanitas. This brings Aqua to the final part of her plan: find Terra. Aqua's search brings her back to Radiant Garden. Although she finds Terra, he's now under the control of Xehanort. Seeing her friend in this state upsets Aqua tremendously. She draws her Keyblade and announces herself as Master Aqua. This recognition of her title, as well as her own abilities, resonates with her Keyblade. Aqua's Keyblade Rainfell transforms into Stormfall. She'll need all the strength she can get if she wants to overcome what's in front of her. I stated in my very first video that the Ansem Sora fought didn't have the Guardian. That's because he was a replica, and the Guardian wasn't bonded to him. However, Xehanort does have the Guardian, and proves to be quite a challenge for Aqua. Despite this, Aqua still manages to win the battle, both because of her skill, but also her persistence in calling out to Terra. The following events play out just like the original game, with Aqua sacrificing herself in an attempt to save Terra. Unfortunately, the only person to benefit from her effort would be Xehanort. Unlike the original, when Xehanort ends up back in Radiant Garden, he won't have amnesia. Xehanort is infamous, and despite having a new body, his name alone would draw attention. In order to remain undetected, he begins going by the name Ansem. Using this new identity, Ansem eventually works his way into the inner circle of Diz. Over the next few years, Ansem and Braig would work together to not only overthrow Diz, but to corrupt some of his closest allies. Once they learned how to become nobodies, Braig and Ansem transformed themselves into Xigbar and Xemnas. This is when Organization 13 began to take shape. Xemnas and his nearly immortal organization controlled Radiant Garden from the shadows for decades. They would appoint their own hand-picked figureheads to keep the peace among the citizens. But eventually, they grew tired of the politics and allowed the Heartless to run rampant, which caused Radiant Garden to become Hollow Bastion. And while all of this was taking place, Aqua was fighting to survive in the Realm of Darkness. Her situation becomes even more bleak when she notices that worlds from the Realm of Light are now appearing in the Realm of Darkness. Aqua knows that this means darkness is running wild and the realm of light is suffering. Although there's nothing she can do in the way of support, she can at least investigate what's in front of her. As Aqua continues to explore the realm of darkness, she eventually crosses paths with Mickey. Aqua is shocked. She remembers meeting Mickey during her time in Disneytown, but has no idea why he's in the realm of darkness. Aqua is even more surprised when she sees Mickey wielding Starseeker, one of the Keyblades that she forged. Before she has time to ask any questions, they're attacked by Heartless. After the battle, Mickey catches Aqua up to speed. Mickey explains that one day his Keyblades suddenly appeared to him, leading him away from Disneytown and bringing him to Master Yin Sid. At this point, Disneytown had been stuck in a time loop for decades. But with the help of Yin Sid, they were able to repair the cornerstone and fix their timeline. Because of the irreparable damage that he had caused Disneytown, Pete was exiled. In exchange for his help, Yin Sid asked Mickey to come to the mysterious tower and become his apprentice. Mickey agreed and officially began training to become a Keyblade Master. After passing the Mark of Mastery, Mickey was the only active Keyblade wielder for quite some time. When Aqua tells Mickey that she's the one who forged Starseeker, Mickey thanks her for not only saving him, but for saving everyone in Disneytown. Aqua knows that she's been gone for a while, but the amount of time that Mickey is describing seems far too great. Mickey tells Aqua that she's been missing for almost 100 years. Aqua is overwhelmed with dread as she assumes both Terra and Vin are long gone. Just as Aqua's about to reach her breaking point, her wayfinder begins to glow green and then orange, the same colors as the wayfinders that Terra and Vin carry. Aqua takes this as a sign that her friends are still out there, waiting to reunite. And after spending so much time in darkness, at long last, Aqua can see a bit of light. From here, Aqua and Mickey continue fighting their way through the realm of darkness until they eventually come across a golden Keyblade. This Keyblade was crafted from materials found only in the realm of darkness, but as to who created it and why remains a mystery. It does seem to play some role in opening and closing the pathways between the realm of light and the realm of darkness. After securing it, Mickey tells Aqua that he plans on using this Keyblade to seal off some of the pathways, which will in turn limit the amount of darkness that can flow out. Unfortunately for Mickey and Aqua, the moment they touched the Keyblade, they alerted the nearby Heartless. In another tragic turn of events, Aqua gets separated and ends up getting pulled deeper within the realm of darkness. Aqua comes to accept that she may never make it back home, but that doesn't mean that her life is over. She decides to become the light within the darkness, an ally on the other side, a beacon for anyone who should find themselves lost in the shadows. And that brings us to the end of Birth by Sleep. Thanks to the feedback from you all, we know where we're headed next. We're gonna spend some time with Roxas and Shion. Oh, and Kairi too. By the way, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. That way I finally have access to the community tab. So it would help out so much if you would hit that subscribe button. Either way, I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful for your time.